All right, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. I really appreciate it. We're going to get started here and really dive into what it is that Top Step Trader provides within the trading world and how you can earn a funded account, take advantage of our opportunity, where we started from, where we're going, and then also really what are some of the key performance metrics that you need to meet in order to not only earn a funded account, but how can you best accomplish those things? So we're going to take a look at many of the success stories, but as well as what made those traders successful and how they were able to successfully complete our trading combine and our funded trader preparation. So we're going to dive into a little bit of the nitty-gritty here, get into the details of what it takes, and then after that, certainly go into what you need to do and what the 4 keys of success are to succeed. And then lastly, we'll certainly open it up to Q&A. So if you have a question along the way, feel free to shoot it out there. We won't get to it till the end, but I promise we will answer all the questions at the very end. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first, as always, a risk disclaimer. Futures and options is a large potential rewards, also potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in futures and options. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. That's actually why we come into play. And this is not a solicitation to offer buy or sell future stocks, options, or any of the same. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in this document. The past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. We all know that, but we all trade anyways, right? Perfect. So who am I? First of all, my name is Connor Megan, so I'm happy to be here to be your presenter and be with you all today. I think that this is going to be a very valuable next hour or so here. And what's my background? So I have over a decade of trading industry experience. I've been in this industry for many years now. And I really got my start when I was in college. I just was so interested in the markets and kind of that nerd or that dork, if you will, in his dorm room watching and listening to CNBC and Bloomberg and really fascinated with what was going on. And I wanted to really break into this space. And I did it by cold calling, cold emailing, you name it, anybody and everybody that I could think of. Fortunate enough to be born and raised in the Chicago area, which is, of course, the futures and derivatives capital of the world. So there was enough people in my neighborhood, in my backyard to call upon, and I got my start as an intern, literally at one of the top futures brokers here in Chicago. Worked my way up from there. And actually parlayed my success at the futures brokerage to go on to be an analyst at a leading hedge fund tech company. So the futures brokerage was really where I got my orientation in the industry, learned a ton, and then from there, once I developed a little bit more, got more familiar, more comfortable with the space and with what I was doing, I was able to land a job as an analyst at a leading hedge fund. And here I say technology company. We did manage assets, but we had a really cool platform that this was right after the whole kind of Bernie Madoff era. So 2007, 2008, whatever it was around there. And also, of course, the crash was going on. So it was a very eventful time. But what we did is we matched QEPs, which is qualified persons, according to the SEC. So that's $3 million net worth, $1 million liquid capital to invest, and those people have the privilege of being able to invest in certain investment vehicles that the average public does not, namely hedge funds, certain CTAs, things like that. So we created a technology platform where we had 27,000 QEPs, and some of those included CalPERS, some of the world's largest pension funds, etc. And we matched them with some of the leading hedge funds and CTAs out there. Now, we provided a very good service in the form of transparency. So not only did we write, beige books on all of these funds and their trading and their performance and their strategies, etc. So a lot of due diligence type reports, but we literally connected directly into the FCMs, prime brokers that these funds and these managers were using to execute their trades. So really we could keep them honest. We provided that layer of transparency to the investor. So if they were a long short equity, global macro, relative arbitrage, fund, whatever their strategy was, we made sure that they were adhering to it, and we could really see that in real time and evaluate that. So it provided a very good layer of transparency and protection to the QEPs. So it was a great business. I enjoyed being in it while I was there, but I really wanted to get more in the action, right? So I had an opportunity there to learn from and sit in rooms with managers that manage billions of dollars of capital. So trust me, I mean, I was a sponge. It was an incredible opportunity, loved it, but wanted to get in the action myself. So from there, moved to the floor of the Chicago Board of Trade. CME Group at the time, had since merged and purchased it. Purchased the Board of Trade, so it was really the CME floor, but at the Chicago Board of Trade building, if that makes sense to anyone. And really enjoyed my time there, and that was where I met our founder and now our chief visionary officer, Michael Batak, and became one of the first employees of Top Step Trader. So it's been kind of a twisted road, but I've been in this industry in multiple capacities. Been on the institutional side, been on the brokerage side, been on the trading side, been on the retail type side. So I like to think I've been around the block a time or two. So what's the problem, right? What is the problem in this industry, and particularly in the retail space? And if you really think about it, the problem is access to capital. The best trading system, you could have the best system, strategy, algo, methodology, whatever you want to call it in the world, and it doesn't matter if you don't have capital to trade it or scale it, right? I could have the holy grail, right, if that exists, which I don't think it does, but you know what I mean. You can have a great system, great strategy, and if you don't have capital to trade it with, it's not going to do you any good. You're going to sit on the sidelines. You're going to think, man, I have so much opportunity in front of me, but I just can't utilize it. I can't take advantage of it. So that's where Top Step Trader comes in. And we provide the solution to that problem in a retail trading world. And the way we do that is a two-step evaluation process. First is what we call the trading combine. And the second step is what we call funded trader preparation. Now, both of these are real-time simulated accounts where your performance is being evaluated for funding, for a real funded account. Now, these have different risk parameters. The trading combine is really, you come in here, it's kind of stay within the lines, meet the profit target, prove to us that you can trade. And then funded trader preparation, again, another real-time simulated account. This one is a little bit more about risk aversion and making sure that you can manage risk properly. So if you can complete these two steps, you will earn a funded account with our prop firm and trade at Top Step Trader. So what is the trading combine? I'm going to go ahead and bounce out here to our website, and I like to do this because this is exactly what you see following along. So feel free to follow along yourselves or take a look, but this is exactly what you would see if you go to topsteptrader.com and go to our Learn How page. So we offer 4 different account parameters and 4 different account sizes. So the parameters vary depending upon the size of the account: $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, and $150,000. Now, in the $50,000 account, we'll use this as an example throughout, so let's start here. Your max position size is 5 lots or 5 contracts. So what does that mean? That means that if I am long 3 contracts of crude and short 2 contracts of the S&Ps, I can't put on any other positions. I cannot put on any other trades, right? Pretty self-explanatory. So 5 contracts, 5 lots across all products is the most that you can have on, the most open positions you can have on at any given time. Now next is the daily loss limit. So what is the daily loss limit? This is the most you can lose intra-day. So I'm going to repeat that. That's important. The daily loss limit is the most you can lose intra-day. So the other important component to this is that it's going to be calculated according to your unrealized net P&L. So your unrealized net P&L, meaning that if you're in a trade and it still touches that loss limit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that those weren't realized losses because you didn't close that trade. You're in an open position, and say you're at, in this example, it's $1,000. Say it's 10 a.m. You're at minus 950, minus 960, minus 980, minus 1,000. Boom. We're going to clip you, lock you out, liquidate your position. You're locked out for the day. You're no longer eligible for review. So it's very important that you place stops and make sure that you get out of positions before you touch that. So, if you're in an open position and you're long crude and crude is dropping like a brick, make sure you get out of your position before you hit that daily loss limit. Next is the max drawdown. So the max drawdown is really, you can think of it as an overall loss limit. So this is also a trailing max drawdown though. So what that means is that it's going to trail your high water mark, so the most you've made in the account. So for example, in the $50,000 account, if you make $1,000 your first day trading, the lowest your account balance can go is now $49,000, right? Because that's a $2,000 difference. The next day you make $2,000, so now your account balance is at $53,000. At that point, the lowest your account balance can go is $50,000. So your trailing max drawdown becomes $3,000 there because it trails your high water mark until you make that in profits. So if you look at this example, day 2, we're up $51,500. Our trailing max drawdown is still $2,000, so the lowest our account balance can go is $49,500. The next day, choppy markets, your head's not in it, whatever the case is, you hold on to a loser too long, you lose about $1,000. The lowest your account balance can go is still $49,500. Now your trailing max drawdown is only about $1,000 though, because it's still based off of your high water mark, which was the previous day. Now the next day, you knock it out of the park, you kill it, you're up, $3,200 in the account from the start. Now your trailing max drawdown is $3,200, and the lowest your account balance can go is $50,000. So you're rewarded once you make your trailing max drawdown in profit or more, because then your trailing max drawdown, the amount you can lose, elongates, right? So it's no longer $2,000 here, it's $3,200. So you get more breathing room, you get rewarded for that. Next, of course, is the profit target. So with the profit target, we want to see a 6% return, and that's across each trading combine. So that doesn't matter the size of the account, we want to see a 6% return. You have as much time as you need to make this amount of money, which I'll go over here in a minute. But so in this example, the 50K, the profit target would be $3,000. And then lastly is the price per month. So that's the amount that you would need to pay. That's the cost to be evaluated. That's going to vary depending upon the account size. The larger the account size, the more we want to see you put up. So if we're going to risk more funding you at the $150,000 level, we want to see you risk more. And this is really two components to this. First of all, we're a business. We've got overhead, we've got data feed costs, technology, staff, overhead, natural overhead, lease, whatever, you name it, normal things in the course of business. But more importantly, when you put money up, even if it is, couple $100, it makes it very real to you. It makes you take this seriously. You have some skin in the game. And I can't tell you how important that is. When we first started Top Step years ago, 6+ years ago, we were just given demo accounts. Hey, let's see how you can do, and people would just go and blow out because they didn't care, right? It didn't matter. But once they had some money on the line, all of a sudden it became real. All of a sudden it became almost like a live environment, a live trading environment, right? So that's the cost you pay per month. You would pay that until you either meet the objective or cancel the account. Now, another really cool thing is that if you do have a bad trading day, right? It happens. I get it. We all do it. Like I said, there's a multitude of reasons that could happen. Maybe you got in a fight with your spouse in the morning. Your head just wasn't there. you held on to a loser too long, you over leveraged yourself, any number of reasons. The market's really choppy. Some global news came out, right? You're in oil, and the Saudis all of a sudden announced that they're increasing production. Things that you could never anticipate and eclipse you. So if you ever do, hit this daily loss limit or the max drawdown, there is sort of a do-over, if you will, which we call the reset. So you can reset your account at any time for $100. So of course, we don't encourage people to reset. We want you to be trading well. So when you do reset, it's going to hurt a little bit, but hopefully you learn, not to hit that loss limit, not to hit that drawdown. But if you do get in a situation where you need to use it, it is there for you. So certainly something to possibly take advantage if you get in that situation. Hopefully you don't have to. So in addition to the account parameters of the trading combine, we have rules that you need to follow. So first is you need to trade a minimum of 10 days. So what does that mean? That is the lowest data set we can possibly see before you can advance. So you need to trade at least 10 trading days. A trading day is from 5 p.m. Central Time when the Globex opens until the electronic close of your product the next day. If any time between there an order is filled, it counts as a trading day. So the minimum number is 10. That's the least we need to see. So, one of the popular questions people ask is, well, what if I make, $3,000 in 4 days? Still need to trade another 6 trading days. We need to see at least 10. We're trying to separate the gamblers from the traders here. We don't know if you got lucky. 10 days is a very small sample set to begin with, but we think it's enough to be able to tell, whether or not you're worth your salt. Now, if you need more time than 10 days, you have it. 10 days is just the minimum. If it takes you 12 days to meet the profit target and follow the rules, if it takes you 24 days, if it takes you 137 days, I don't care. We don't care. As long as you follow the rules and meet the profit target, it doesn't matter. And you don't need to trade these consecutive days. We just need to see at least 10, but you have as many as you need. Okay? Next is only trade during permitted times. So this is also permitted products and times. So in terms of the products that we offer, the equity indices, all CME Group products, by the way, all outright futures contracts products. We offer the equity indices, the currency futures, ags, NYMEX, so the energies, you name it, the financials. These are the most liquid products, gold, that we offer. Our most popular is crude. Number 2 is the S&Ps. 3 is a toss-up between gold and the euro. But again, like I said, all positions must be flat by 3:10 p.m. Central Time. But if you have a product that closes earlier than that, you need to be flat by the electronic close. But you can begin trading at 5 p.m. when the Globex opens. And then next, our 2 cardinal rules that we already discussed. Do not hit or exceed the daily loss limit, and do not allow your account balance to hit or exceed the trailing max drawdown. If you can do these 4 things and meet the profit target, congratulations. You will advance to funded trader preparation, which is step 2 in our evaluation process. Now you may be asking yourself, well, what am I using to execute these trades? Am I using your system? Am I using mine? We've partnered with some of the top top brokers as well, but top trading platforms out there. So use what you're comfortable with. NinjaTrader is our recommended preferred platform. NinjaTrader, if you don't have a license key, you get a free license key through us while you're being evaluated. But we also offer some of the most popular other ones: Sierra Chart, Trade Navigator, Multi-Charts, eSignal, Our Trader Pro, you name it. If there's something here you don't see, let us know. Contact us, and we'll let you know if we can support it. For example, in this list, TradeStation is not here on this list, but we do support TradeStation. So feel free to reach out to us if you're comfortable or used to using another trading platform that isn't listed here. But by all means, there should be something for everybody. So again, keeping with our theme of the $50,000 trading combine, we followed these rules. We met the profit target. We did it in 12 trading days. Awesome. We're advancing to funded trader preparation. Again, funded trader preparation is another real-time simulated account where your performance is evaluated. This is totally free. So we know in the trading combine, we needed to prove that we could at least trade, right? We're separating the traders from the gamblers up there. So you're paying a monthly cost. You have the ability to reset if you need it. Here, you've proven to us that you know what you're doing. This is totally free. Now, funded trader preparation, though, is more about risk management than anything else. So you're close. I mean, you're right there to managing our money, managing real capital. So we want to make sure that you're going to be a good steward of that, and you're going to be a very prudent trader. So we do that, and we tighten up things a little bit from a risk perspective, but again, certainly very achievable, because most of the things and most of the rules that we're looking for are things you already did up here. So you've already proven you can do them, such as trading a minimum of 10 trading days. So, of course, we know that from the trading combine. That's the smallest sample set that you can do, but you can trade as many as you need. Again, only trade permitted products, permitted times, something we just went over. Do not hit or exceed your daily loss limit. That's going to be exactly the same as it was in the trading combine. So, of course, something we've already proven to do. And then do not hit or exceed your weekly loss limit. So the weekly loss limit is something new, right? I said that this is a little bit more risk-oriented. So now you have a weekly loss limit that you need to adhere to. So what that means is that from 5 p.m. Central Time on Sunday when the Globex opens until the electronic close of your product on Friday, you can't lose more than $1,000. So that may sound tight right now, but I'm going to get into a rule that's going to help explain, how that's very manageable. Next, do not allow the account balance to hit or exceed the trailing max drawdown. Again, that is exactly the same as it was in the trading combine. You've already proven you can do that. Should be no problem. A new rule here, do not hold positions into major economic releases. So this is going to vary depending upon the products you're trading. We've got a full list here that you can look at, but the economic releases are going to be, FOMC announcements, payrolls. If you're trading some of the energies, the nat gas, the weekly nat gas inventories, the weekly crude inventories, crop production. So, those are all things that are really going to cause those markets to move. And no one knows those numbers, right? No one has any idea of them unless you work for the government, have some inside information, in which case I don't want to be a part of it. Nobody really knows. Obviously every analyst has their estimates and things like that, but those move the market so quickly, and we just don't think that they're worth trading. So you need to be flat a minute prior to the release, and then you can re-enter the market a minute after the release. And then next is the scaling plan. So I mentioned that, the weekly loss limit shouldn't be too intimidating, and really that's because of the scaling plan. So the scaling plan is put in place it's going to match your leverage to your equity balance. So, for example, in our $50,000 combine, once we make from $0 to $1,500, we can trade 2 lots or 2 contracts. Once we make $1,500, we can trade 3 contracts. Once we make $2,000, we can trade 5 contracts. So what we're doing here is we're easing you into it, right? We used to have traders go right out, guns a-blazing, hey, throwing 5 cars on right away, throwing 10 cars on, throwing 15 lots on, and right away they're just blowing up accounts, right? Because you're risking too much. So we want you to do base hits, build your equity balance, be consistent, and you won't have any problem with the weekly loss limit, daily, or max drawdown. So the scaling plan really helps keep you honest in that sense. So if you can follow these rules, which again, there's really only the addition of a couple compared to what you already did, and meet the profit target, then congratulations, you did it. You earned a funded account. And this is what everybody's in it for, right? This is what we all want, is the funded account. We don't want to have to risk our own capital anymore in the markets. We want to be able to size up and leverage our trading strategy with a firm and with the infrastructure and the people to back it. And that is exactly what the funded account is. So there's quite a few benefits to the funded account. A few of the main ones that I'll cover here is, first and foremost, we have industry best profit splits. So I don't know anyone else that pays 80-20 on a funded account for a prop firm. If you do, please feel free to throw it in the chat. I've never seen it, but that is our payout, is 80% to the trader, 20% to the house. Now, even more topping on the cake, I don't know if is that saying cherry on the top, whatever it is that we give you your first $5,000 in profits. I like to think of it as a signing bonus. So if you come onto the funded account, your first month, you make 10 grand, you say, hey, Connor, you know what? I really want to take the wife and kids on vacation, or the husband and kids on vacation, and I'd like to withdraw, $5 grand. I think that'll cover it. We're going to go somewhere warm, right? I'm in Chicago. I want to be in Florida right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to say, hey, can I withdraw $5,000? Within a couple days, we'll turn it around to you, and you get a check for $5,000. We don't take anything of that. That first $5 grand is yours to keep 100%. Anything after that is an 80-20 split. So again, I don't know anyone that has as enticing or impressive of a compensation package from a funded trader, from a prop trading perspective, split-wise. So next is trade additional products. So here, again, you've proven to us that you can trade. We trust you here. If you want to trade something else that we didn't offer in the evaluation, namely other exchanges, we'll let you do it. So, we have, for instance, a lot of our foreign traders, our overseas traders, like to trade Eurex, like to trade the DAX or the Bund. That's totally cool. We'll let you trade it. A lot of people also like to trade the Russell. So a lot of our S&P traders like to trade the Russell as well. That's currently an ICE product, so we'll certainly let you do it now. However, the good news is that in just 3.5 short months, July 1st, that will be a CME Group product. So CME has bought the licensing rights to the Russell, and it will now be traded on CME come July 1st. So, but again, any other exchanges, products, as long as they're within reason, it's not something crazy, obscure that we've never heard of, and some weird instrument. If it's liquid, if it's popular, you can trade it. Next is, and I think this one goes overlooked a lot, unfortunately, but we want to make it stupid easy for you to get your money. We look at this as a partnership. If you want to take a withdrawal, by all means, take a withdrawal. We don't say, you can only withdraw once a month, or the 1st and the 15th, or once a quarter. We also don't have mandatory withdrawals that say, hey, you've got to withdraw, once a year, once every 6 months, or anything like that. If you want your money, shoot us an email, give us a call. We'll get it turned around in a couple days. We'll get a check out to you. Otherwise, if you're withdrawing at least $250, we'll wire the money for free. That's actually a big deal for a lot of our international traders, because international wire fees, I had no idea, but they're very expensive. So we'll cover all of that. Don't worry about it. And of course, too, PayPal, is something we can do as well. We can get a little more creative, but again, the important thing here is that we'll turn it around in a couple business days, and you'll have your money in your hands. So I think that's great for being flexible, because stuff happens, right? The water heater breaks, or the AC goes out, or whatever the case is, or unfortunately you get in a car accident or something happens, and you need kind of some funds, and you don't want to go into your emergency fund or anything like that. Hey, take it from the trading account. And then lastly is industry low commissions, right? We've negotiated with our brokerage partners for industry low commissions, and the lower the commissions, the more money in your pocket, right? So the less the transaction fees, the more profit you make. So So that is the funded account. Again, it's fairly simple. Step one, the trading combine. Step two, funded trader preparation. If you can successfully complete those, you will earn a funded account, profit split with us. You're trading real money, and this is where it really happens, and this is what's awesome because I love to hear the success stories and the things that come out of the funded account. So with that, I would like to talk about what are the keys to success. So we already covered, what we need to do from a tactical perspective, from a requirements perspective to earn a funded account, right? Now, what about a trading perspective? How can we do it from that? So, and even if you never get evaluated by us, you never enter a trading combine, these are great things to keep in mind for your brokerage account, for any type of trading, and really I think they translate well to life too. But in my experience of sitting in rooms with multi-billion-dollar hedge funds, being on the trading floor, evaluating thousands of accounts here at Top Step Trader, these are really the four things that are tried and true that I've seen throughout and that transcend all of those and all of those borders, and it doesn't matter. These are principles that will make or break you as a trader. So let's get into the first one. Discipline. So, and these might sound kind of simple or maybe even soft to you, but I guarantee you they are the things that are going to make you a good trader or make you lose your money. So first is discipline, right? In our trading combine, we have a daily loss limit. The daily loss limit is the most broken rule. Excuse me. I'll repeat that. That's important. The daily loss limit is the most broken rule. I just pulled the curtains back. I'm telling you why people fail. Don't do it. If you're flirting with your limit, close the trade. I cannot stress enough using stops, placing stops before you get to your limit. In the beginning of the day, place a stop that, if you have $1,000 limit on that day, place a stop at minus 950 or minus 940, because other things happen, right? Slippage happens, the market's moving crazy, your order's not getting filled. So give yourself some tick breathing room. Another common mistake I see is people will put a stop in, but they'll put a stop in at minus 995 when their daily loss limit is minus 1,000. I mean, you're going to blow right through that stop. So you don't want to touch it. Don't risk it. Give yourself some breathing room. Be disciplined. If a trade's going against you and you're flirting with the limit, close the trade, shut the computer off, walk away from the day. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to come back. Next is location, 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 right? So this is the old real estate adage. The same thing is true in trading. Trade location is everything. Trade location is everything. So, most of our successful traders that we see are really only taking 1 to 4, 1 to 5 trades a day. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have traders taking 10, 12 a day. It doesn't mean we don't have scalpers that are taking, 30, 40 trades a day. We do. However, the way I always think about it and approach it is that if you have a trading strategy that gives you 10 setups in a day, 10 trading opportunities in a day, of those 10 trading opportunities or of those 5 trading opportunities or of those 20 trading opportunities, whatever it is, aren't some of those a higher probability than others? I bet if you went through and you journaled, and I hope you're all journaling, but I bet if you went through and you looked back and you think to yourself, yeah, you know what? Usually these trades give me a 70% likelihood, 75% likelihood. Some of these other trades I'm not as confident in. They're 50%, 55%. Focus on your high probability trades. Only trade your high probability trades. I promise it will benefit you. More is not better, usually. More is not better. Focus on quality over quantity. I don't know however many euphemisms I have left, but I think you get the point, right? So trade location is everything. Only focus on high probability trades. And then over trading is a big thing that we see too. So most of our top traders really only trade 2 to 3 hours a day tops. Generally, the morning session is a little more biased than the afternoon session. Of course, we have afternoon session traders, but I usually think that within 2 to 3 hours of the trading day, whenever that starts for you, you can tell whether or not it's going to be a good day, a bad day. And walking away, I think, is a very, very important thing to do if you're having a bad day, and it's a very, very almost more important thing to do if you're having a really good day, because you don't want to give anything back to the market. Take your money and run, right? It's the same thing. I hate to compare it to gambling, but if you stay at the blackjack table long enough, you're going to lose. And it's the same thing with traders, right? We're impulsive. We give into that sort of simplicity of trading, the fact that all it takes is one click, and the rush of wanting to get back into the market and wanting to ride, this wave of high that we're on, or we think we're on. And being more disciplined, being more level-headed, realizing that, hey, you got a couple great trades today. Usually if you trade longer, things don't go as well. Really knowing yourself is hugely important. So keep that in mind. Don't overtrade. I see it far, far too often. Next is size matters, right? Position size matters. Just because you have it doesn't mean you should use it. This is all about leverage. So, in our trading combines, we give you the ability max position sizes depending upon the account balance you're in. The starting balance you choose is either 3 contracts, 5 contracts, 10 contracts, or 15 contracts. It doesn't mean you should trade all of those contracts, right? There's some of our best traders I see, they can trade 10 lots or they can trade 15 lots, and they're trading 1 or 2 lots, and they're doing really, really well. And they're putting up multi-$1,000 days. So, I mean, here I like to use an example of a mortgage approval, right? I can afford to buy a $1.2, $1.5 million house, whatever it is, whatever the bank tells me, hey, yeah, you can afford this. Why would I do that? It's going to cause me some anxiety, some stress if I have a bad month, if something happens, an emergency comes up, whatever. I'm worried about making my mortgage payment. No, I can be really, really happy with a nice $750,000, $800,000 house. And then that way I'm relaxed, right? The rest of my life is easier. It's better. I can breathe better. I'm not making hasty decisions. I'm not being driven by anxiety. And the same thing goes with your trading. If you've got 10 contracts on, 15 contracts on, it's going to hurt you because you're taking some really, really big swings, and those are going to mess with your psychology and cause a lot of anxiety, I promise you. You don't need to do it. Do not over leverage yourself. It's a common mistake, and I know that everybody wants to get to the funded account fastest, and they want to make $1 million and everything else, but I promise you, you will get there a lot faster being consistent and trading with proper leverage than you will over leveraging, because you're going to end up blowing out accounts, and it's not going to be good. So if you size properly, you'll meet your target, you'll meet your profit target in our instances without testing your limits. So please keep that in mind. And really that ties in with patience as well, which is our next one. So patience is a virtue. There's a reason it's a virtue. And particularly in our evaluation, you have as much time as you need. I can't stress this enough. You have as much time as you need to meet the objective. So again, I know everybody wants to do it, right in 10 trading days, and I want to be on that funded account in a month and everything else. But again, you're just putting undue pressure on yourself. And I like to think of this, a single and a home run are the same to your batting average, right? So focus on smaller, chipping away, building your account size, building your equity balance over time, and you will accomplish it, and you will get there faster than if you're trying to hit a home run every time. Because what do you do when you try and hit a home run over time? you have a lot of strikeouts. And in our business, strikeouts aren't, hey, take some bench and get them next time. Strikeouts are you blew up your account, you got to start all over. So again, focus on small ball. I'm telling you, it'll pay dividends. So again, base hits, build your equity over time. It's going to reduce your risk and increase your profitability. So those are my 4 keys to success. Along with that, I have a personal mantra that I've always used and I think has proved me well in my career in this industry. If it means something to you, great, write it down. Feel free to use it. If it doesn't, no big deal. But preservation of capital is paramount to profits. I've had that on my desk since I can remember, and I don't even know who told it to me. I'm not smart enough to think it up, so I had to have heard it somewhere. And I wish I could remember because I'd love to give them credit or I'd love to give them a call because they've saved me a lot of money and made me a lot of money over the years. But preservation of capital is paramount to profits. If you approach every trade with that in mind and think to yourself, when you're putting risk on, because it's a privilege to trade in these markets, I'm putting risk on. Is it important enough to me, or do I think that this is a logical enough decision to put risk on as opposed to preserving my capital and not having any risk on? Do I think the likelihood of this trade is going to pay off? How confident am I in that? Because I'd rather preserve than profit. And if you approach everything like that, and again, depending on your risk tolerance, I don't mean this to be too overly conservative, but it's just meant to give you a gut check. Give you a gut check. Should I do it? If you can answer yes or no pretty definitively, then I think you've got your answer. Now, let's talk about some success stories. So, this is awesome. People that are trading. I know just this week I was just talking to a couple of our risk managers and performance coaches, and they were telling me there was a guy, he's up, I think he's already up 10 grand in his account. It was over 12, 13 trading days, just doing really, really well, which is awesome. We like to see. I think he just took a check for 5 grand too. So it's awesome to hear these stories. So, and I think he was a retired, or I don't know if it's retired, but he's no longer in the Army, but he was a sergeant, and one of the risk managers we have here was in the Army as well, or in the Marines, I should say, the Marine Corps. I think he was a sergeant too, but so they're all buddy, but it's good to see a veteran, succeed like that. But here's a couple here. This is Melissa is her name. She's a wonderful young woman, and she's taken multiple $1,000 checks. That's her beautiful daughter, newborn daughter. She was born in the fall, so she's probably coming up to 6 months, something like that. So I'm sure she's much bigger now. We'll have to get an updated picture, but she's able to stay at home with her child. We all know how expensive it is for those of us who are here who have kids to raise children. So of course, this I'm sure certainly helps with that, and then she gets to take care of herself a little bit. Much deserving to all the moms out there. If there's moms in here, anybody, any men in here, of course, their spouses, if they're mothers, and all of our moms, we know what a difficult job it is. So, anytime they can get a mani-pedi or treat themselves to something new and cool is certainly well deserved. This is a really cool one. I love this story. This is Jacob. Jacob is a Ugandan construction worker. That's him in Uganda on what looks to be a construction site or some type of truck yard. Actually, he's wearing that shirt. The front of that shirt is a Top Step Trader shirt, and the back says "I'm backed." Little pun, little play on words in terms of being funded. And he's earned more in one trade than his entire monthly income in Uganda. So that just goes to show, anyone, anywhere. It's part of our mission statement. Is to provide an opportunity for anyone, anywhere, to earn the financial freedom to pursue their dreams. That's our mission, and this is probably doesn't get much more evident than that. So again, anywhere with an internet connection and the will to succeed and trade and learn and grow, and you'll be able to do that. So I love that story. This is a great one. This is Mark, I believe is his name, and he's a Texas limo driver. took a check for a little over 10 grand, take his wife and kids on a vacation, dream vacation. I believe he said that 10 grand was about 20% or almost a quarter of what he would earn in a year as a limo driver. So that's certainly unbelievable and awesome. So these are real people, real stories, and it just goes to show that it really is possible to get to that funded account, to start earning real capital and having an impact and change your life in positive ways. And I hope to see all of you as one of these success stories here in the coming hopefully months. Here's just a few testimonials, and really I think that's it afterwards. So if there's nothing else, I don't think I missed anything. I hope I didn't, but if there's any questions, I would love to open it up to questions right now. Okay, great. Just pulled it up. Looks like we've got a lot of good questions. Daniel, I apologize. Daniel asked me to slow down earlier, and I didn't see it. Speaking wise, not a native English speaker. I'm sorry about that, Daniel. I will be sure to slow down for the questions section here. So, Daniel would like to know, how long does it usually take to go through these two steps? So that's a great question, Daniel. The shortest possible time that it can take is 20 trading days. So about a month if you traded consecutively. Now that's going to vary depending upon a lot of things, right? Your trading strategy, your style, your experience level, the market state, right? The market state plays a big role in that. So it kind of varies. So I don't have an average for you just because there's so many variables, and it really depends on each individual trader and their circumstances. But I can't tell you the fastest, and it's been done many times, is 20 trading days or about a month. Raphael, what happens if you meet the target goal before the 10-day period? Can you stop trading, or do you still need to keep trading? You still need to keep trading, Raphael, for the full 10 days. So you need to keep trading for the full 10 days. I'm not saying you need to risk a ton if you've already met the profit target, but we do want to see you, continue to trade. Oh, sorry about that, guys. There we go. Is the profit target for the month? So the profit target is for a minimum of 10 trading days, Daniel, but it can go on for much longer than that. So if you need more time, you have as much time as you need. Ruben wants to know if I can start April 5th. Yeah, absolutely, Ruben. You can just sign right up on the website. Raphael, if I start with the 150K combine, can we switch to a lower combine the following billing cycle? Yes, Raphael, you can, but you would have to start over at the lower level trading combine. Malte says, awesome. Razvan, looks risky even so. I'd add one contract to every 5,000. Okay, yep. So Razvan talking about, his leverage style. Raphael, say you start with the 50K and you pass phase 2, you're on the funded account. Is there an opportunity to scale up? Yeah, absolutely, Raphael. Once you've made $10,000 in profits in the funded account, you can then ask for more buying power, more risk in terms of a loss limit, drawdown, etc. Raldo would like to know about the Forex Combine. So the Forex Combine is coming. We're hoping this year. We're really trying to secure the best Forex partner right now. Once we have that, we think we'll be able to cruise to a solution fairly quickly. Josu, do you require a minimum of 10 days for funded trader preparation too? Yes, there's a minimum of 10 days for funded trader prep as well. Raphael, as a funded trader, is there a data fee that is subtracted from our income account? If so, how much? Sure, Raphael. So the data fee is going to be professional data fees. So you're going to be charged $85 per month per exchange. And that's actually paid by credit card. So again, that's not a charge we charge. That's a CME Group data fee. At the end of the year, you are taxed as a 1099 independent contractor. Parm, no, the trading days do not need to be consecutive. Hans, yeah, again, once you're in the funded account, once you make more than $10,000 in profit, you can request adjusted risk parameters. So you can request an adjusted, daily loss limit, max drawdown, and max position size as well. So if you wanted to trade with more leverage, you could do that as well. Gary, what happens if we lose our internet connection in the middle of our trade? At that point, you would call Top Step Trader. We act as your trade desk, and we can go in and liquidate that position for you. In terms of a major internet outage with our broker, all of our orders are held server side. So, we can call the FCM directly, and then we can also call the exchange CME directly as well if there was anything of that nature. And I've been to Gary CMEs, they call it their command center. It is impressive. It's very awesome here in Chicago. So, yeah, we definitely have fail safes in place. Vasily, do I need to pay for the platform and data feed on a funded account? So you need to pay the exchange market data entitlements. That's something different. And then depending upon the platform that you're using, you may need to pay for it. So that all depends on the platform. I won't go through each one just because we're running low on time here. But if you go to our help center and type in platform comparison, you will be able to see all of those compared in terms of which are free, which are not, etc. Yes, require a minimum of 10 days for funded trader prep. Jim, no, the funded trader preparation is completely free, so there is no monthly fee any longer. Alan, there is no max on what you can make. Keith cannot trade TF, which is the Russell, during the combine currently. We'll be able to do it come July once it becomes a CME Group product. Brad, the only costs as a funded trader are your monthly CME data costs, which are $85 per month per exchange. Raphael, yes, you can use multi-charts during the combine, funded trader prep, and the funded account. Yes, Geraldo, you can do the futures combine now if you're successful and funded with that. And then we roll out Forex. You can also do the Forex to be funded then. Tony, when funded, yes, the same risk parameters stay in place until you make your max drawdown in profit. Then the weekly loss limit is gone. Adrian, if you make $1,000 the first month in the real account, can you withdraw the $1,000 without problems? Yes, absolutely. Josu, great question. What types of other services and benefits do you offer to traders once funded? We have a full risk management team that is here to help you. You can use them and utilize them as much as you'd like or really as little as you'd like. So you can call them, talk through, trade opportunities, trade setups you're thinking about. they're there managing your risk. They'll call you if things are going against you. You know, hey, what are you thinking here? Do you think we should turn this around? So it's really sort of a hybrid mentorship / risk manager. Yes, we will send out a recording of this webinar. You continue to use your own strategies. We don't teach any specific strategies. Jazz, yeah, a funded account can go red until you hit one of your limits, at which point, you know, you would lose the account, but we take all of those losses. Parm, in terms of education we offer, please check out our Top Step Trader Squawk Radio. I just sent that link out to everyone. That's live trader interviews, daily education, etc. Hozu, you can use the NinjaTrader license like before or purchase it. No, Hans, you cannot change platforms once funded. Use the same platform throughout. And then Jazz, if you fail FTP, yes, you would have to go back to the combine. Raphael, in terms of the Forex combine, most likely will allow swing trading. Eric, yes, he has NinjaTrader and a private brokerage account. Does he still need to pay the $85 a month? Yes, you do, because you're now considered a professional trader in the eyes of the exchange since you're trading someone else's money. No restrictions on trading, you know, your own account, another account, anything like that when you're in the funded account. Obviously, we hope you focus on ours, but no restrictions on that. Awesome. It looks like that's all the questions we've got, which is perfect. We're a minute under here. Alan says, thanks, Connor. Good webinar. Thank you, Alan. Thank you to everyone that was on here today. Hopefully this was beneficial. We will be sending out a recording, and we'll go from there. So thanks, everyone. Sign up for a combine. We want to evaluate you. We want to see you as our next success story. I believe in all of you. I think you all can do it. So thanks, everyone. Trade well, and we will talk to you soon.